When you walk into a truly luxurious hotel, there's a certain atmosphere that strikes you before you've even checked in. It's not just the service, not just the lighting, and not just the fragrance in the air. It's the way every surface and every detail has been chosen to evoke a sense of refined comfort. Walls, often overlooked in ordinary spaces, become canvases for elegance. And among the most memorable design elements you'll find in such places are the abstract wooden wall panels, pieces that transform flat surfaces into living works of art. These aren't your average wood panels. They are sculptural statements, crafted to blend architecture, artistry, and atmosphere into one seamless experience. Luxury hotels understand the power of first impressions. That's why their lobbies often feature a single, unforgettable design element, a grand chandelier, a sculptural staircase, or a breathtaking wall installation. Abstract wooden wall panels fit perfectly into this philosophy. They have a way of drawing the eye without shouting for attention, of communicating sophistication without relying on extravagance. The warmth of wood, combined with contemporary abstract design, creates a visual language that feels timeless and modern all at once. Imagine stepping into a lobby where one wall stretches upward 2 stories, its surface covered in interlocking wooden forms. The shapes may be fluid, like rippling waves frozen mid-motion, or geometric, like an intricate tessellation that shifts subtly as you move past it. The wood's natural tones, deep walnut, golden oak, pale ash, play with the changing light, creating a richness that painted walls could never match. The panels don't just sit there, they breathe with the room, their depth and texture responding to every shift in illumination. The abstract nature of these panels is essential. Unlike representational art, which tells you exactly what you're looking at, abstraction leaves room for interpretation. In a luxury hotel, this is a deliberate choice. Guests come from different cultures, backgrounds, and tastes. An abstract design is universally engaging. It invites curiosity without alienating anyone with overly specific imagery. One person may see a mountain range in the Contis, another might see flowing fabric or the grain of a vast landscape. The point is not to dictate meaning, but to spark imagination. These panels are rarely mass-produced. More often, they are the result of close collaboration between designers, architects, and skilled craftspeople. The process begins with a concept, a mood, a theme, or even a specific story the hotel wants to tell. From there, designers sketch and model forms that will harmonize with the architecture. The choice of wood species is critical. Walnut brings depth and formality. White oak feels fresh and light. Exotic woods like teak or sapele introduce a touch of the rare and the global. Some designs embrace a mix of species, creating subtle contrasts in tone and texture that add to the panel's complexity. Once the design is approved, the making begins. In some cases, CNC machines are used to cut precision forms, especially for intricate geometric patterns. But even in the most technologically advanced projects, the human touch remains essential. Craftspeople sand, assemble, and finish each piece by hand, ensuring that every joint is seamless, every edge smooth, and every surface ready to interact beautifully with light. Finishes may range from natural oils that bring out the grain to matte lacquers that soften the sheen, or even high-gloss coatings for a more dramatic, mirrored effect. One of the most distinctive aspects of luxury hotel-inspired wooden wall panels is their scale. In a home, such designs might cover a single feature wall. In a hotel, they often become part of the architecture itself, wrapping around columns, spanning entire corridors, or framing entrances to ballrooms and lounges. Scale amplifies the impact. A pattern that might feel decorative in small form becomes monumental when it stretches for meters in every direction. The repetition of forms creates a rhythm, like a visual melody that plays as guests move through the space. Lighting is another element that can completely transform the experience of these panels. Hotels know how to use light to create mood, and wooden wall installations are designed with this in mind. Downlights can graze the surface, emphasizing texture. Hidden LED strips can backlight cutouts, creating glowing silhouettes. Spotlights can highlight certain sections, drawing attention to focal points in the design. At different times of day, the same wall can shift from subtle and understated to bold and dramatic, simply through changes in lighting. These walls don't just exist for beauty. They contribute to the feel of the entire space. In large hotel lobbies, restaurants, and lounges, they help manage acoustics. The varied surfaces break up sound waves, reducing echo and making the environment more comfortable for conversation. This combination of aesthetic and function is a hallmark of great design. It's beautiful because it works, and it works because it's beautiful. In guest rooms, abstract wooden panels take on a more intimate role. Instead of dominating the space, they often serve as headboards, feature walls, or room dividers. The abstract designs can be subtler here, perhaps using shallow reliefs or simple repeating shapes to create texture without overwhelming the smaller scale. The tactile quality of wood is especially welcome in these personal spaces. It softens the feel of the room, making it warmer and more inviting. Luxury hotel-inspired designs also frequently draw from the location's culture or environment, even if abstractly. In a coastal resort, a panel might suggest waves, shells, or the movement of water. In a mountain lodge, the forms might echo peaks, ridges, or layers of rock strata. In a city hotel, the abstraction could be inspired by the geometry of the skyline or the flow of traffic patterns. These references are often subtle. Guests may not consciously identify them, but they contribute to the sense of place, grounding the design in its surroundings. Part of what makes these panels so appealing is their versatility. They can be minimalist, using clean lines and simple patterns in light-toned wood for a contemporary look. Or they can be maximalist, with deep carving, layered elements, and rich finishes for a more dramatic, opulent atmosphere. In either case, the craftsmanship and material quality remain paramount, because in a luxury setting, the smallest details are noticed. In private residences, incorporating hotel-inspired abstract wooden panels can bring that same sense of elevated design into everyday life. A living room wall clad in a flowing wooden pattern can make the space feel curated and intentional, like a lounge in a five-star hotel. In a dining room, such a panel can become the backdrop for memorable gatherings. Even a home office can benefit, turning a simple workspace into a refined environment that inspires focus and calm. What separates true luxury hotel-inspired panels from ordinary decorative woodwork is the depth of consideration in their design. Every curve, every joint, every transition between one shape and another is intentional. The grain direction is chosen to enhance the form. The finish is selected not just for color, but for how it will respond to the space's light and atmosphere. The result is an installation that feels inevitable, like it couldn't be any other way, in any other material. Luxury hotel-inspired abstract wooden wall panels are the kind of feature that doesn't just hang on a wall. They transform the room into an experience. They're what you notice when you walk into a high-end suite or a designer lobby, not because they shout for attention, but because they quietly shape the atmosphere. These panels combine precision design with the warmth of natural wood, giving a space that rare mix of refinement and comfort that luxury interiors are known for. The abstraction in their patterns is intentional. Some lean toward laid geometric grids that catch light at different depths. Others embrace sweeping, curved cuts that look almost sculptural. You might see asymmetrical patterns that appear random at first glance, but reveal a deliberate balance when you step back. Exactly the kind of composition that feels both artistic and architectural. When installed in a large run, these panels create a continuous, textured canvas that shifts in appearance as the day's light changes. Lighting is a silent partner in their beauty. In daylight, the natural grain stands out, revealing subtle tone shifts across the surface. As the sun moves, so do the shadows, sliding over ridges and grooves. At night, well-placed accent lights or soft wall washes transform the panels into something almost theatrical, each relief pattern casting bold silhouettes that give the room dimension. This dynamic interplay is what makes them so captivating. They don't just decorate, they interact with the environment. Material choice plays a huge role in their effect. Dark walnut can give a space a rich, grounding presence. Smoked oak adds a mysterious, moody depth. Lighter woods like ash or maple keep the look airy while still textured. Some designers opt for exotic veneers for bespoke finish, pairing them with deep matte oils, soft satin sheens, or hand-rubbed waxes that bring out the grain's character. High-end builds sometimes mix contrasting wood tones, letting light and dark work together in a rhythm that feels deliberate and modern. In homes, these panels can function in countless ways. In a bedroom, they can run floor to ceiling behind the bed, turning a headboard wall into a work of art. In a living room, they can define the seating area, acting as a visual anchor without the need for bulky furniture. In a dining space, they can make the area feel intimate and elevated, like a private dining room in an exclusive hotel. Even in hallways, they can transform what's often a forgotten space into a gallery-like corridor. What truly gives them the luxury hotel edge is their restraint. They never feel over-designed, never rely on bright colors or gimmicks. Instead, they rely on proportion, texture, and finish to carry their elegance. This is a design philosophy hotels have perfected. Give the eye enough to engage with, but never so much that it overwhelms. These panels don't compete with furniture or art. They complement everything around them while still being the silent star of the space. When you live with them, you notice the difference in how a room feels. You find yourself drawn to run your hand along the grain as you pass. You catch yourself stopping to watch how a lamp's glow softens across the relief. The room begins to feel curated, intentional, and far more inviting. These panels are more than decor. They are a daily reminder of how thoughtful design can elevate ordinary moments. In the end, luxury hotel-inspired abstract wooden wall panels aren't about replicating a look. They are about borrowing the atmosphere, the understated drama, and the textural richness that makes a space feel timeless. They bring that sense of calm sophistication into your own home, where every glance at the wall feels like a small, quiet indulgence. If you want, I can now give this one a fully unique ending paragraph, so it's consistent with your different conclusion for each title rule. That way no two scripts close in the same tone. Would you like me to?